Hi there, my name is Rachel, and today I have a product review of this 200 colored pencil set that I purchased off of Amazon. Now, the name on the pencils and the box here is Obos. However, when I went to purchase these, that was not the name that was put up for the pencils. I'm not sure that there was a name. It was just kind of like, 200 color pencil set for adult colorings, that kind of a listing. And it didn't actually use the word Obos anywhere on the Amazon page. Now, as you can see, when I received my box, there was this super large crush dent in it. And what really annoyed me about that was this was not, the Amazon box was not crushed. The Amazon box was completely pristine, and when I opened up, it was shrink wrapped, but it was, this is fairly heavily damaged as a box goes. And when I opened it up, there were several pencils that had the tips all, cracked off. It was the first two trays were at least affected, and I think that this is kind of a, I mean, if you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's kind of a big gash. It really bothers me that a company would send this out knowing that it had clearly been damaged before they put it in the shipper to the customer. But I will show you. Now, I have ordered these pencils in a rainbow order. They originally came with every tray looking just about the same, with kind of a, mishmash of all just different colors here and there. This does come with two sharpeners. I tried out both of the sharpeners and they are pretty much garbage. So the sharpeners don't really, I'm not really including the sharpeners as part of the set of pencils. I tried them with the colored pencils, and they just kind of tore up the wood. And then I tried them with some graphite pencils, and one of them just created like wood sawdust and didn't even sharpen, and the other one actually ripped the graphite tip right off of the pencil I was trying to sharpen. So I would not use these sharpeners. The pencils themselves come in. This is actually, if you can see, this is quite a long box, and it comes with four trays. So there's quite a large, as you can see, a large selection of colors. And I will show you my my color swatches in a minute. Because it's such a large set, you are going to get several pencils that have very, very similar colors to them, which isn't a terrible thing. And to get 200 individual colors would actually be quite a feat. Now, when I did swatch them, I did notice subtle differences in all the colors, but when you're really coloring, you're not going to notice those tiny subtle differences as much. So yes, there are 200 colors, but it's not necessarily completely distinct colors. But so there's these four trays, and as you can see, pretty good spread of colors. There's quite a few in the earthy flesh tones, and then as you can see, there's a really nice array of the purple magentas, and then I would say there's probably just about as many blues and greens. Well, maybe even more greens than blues. And then so a nice spread here. Hopefully you can see here that there is quite a good range of colors, and you might not be able to tell, but there is just minor differences in some of it. Like a lot of these reds here look almost exactly the same, but I can see that, there's a little bit more orange here, a little bit of pinker tone, a little bit of a deeper tone. So they are actually distinct colors. But like I said, when you're coloring and you're blending, you're probably not going to notice those differences quite so much. But 200 pencils is actually a pretty impressive number of pencils. And I want to say that when I got this off of Amazon, I got it for under $45, which means you're getting each pencil for less than 25 cents, maybe like 23 cents or something each. Clearly this box had some sort of a large impact on it. because the dent in this it's like almost like a 5-inch by 3.5-inch dent. So clearly there was something. I mean, I don't know. It looks like someone's knee went through it almost. So there was some kind of an impact. But I have not had a single broken core in all the pencils that I've used so far. I had absolutely no issues sharpening. They sharpen beautifully, not with these sharpeners. And then I have not had a single lead fall out or crumble or break or anything. So that actually, even though I was really kind of miffed that they had sent me a crushed box with the damaged pencils, I was actually really impressed because these pencils don't have any broken cores in them. So if dealing with broken cores is something that you don't like, this might actually be a pretty good set for you. Most colored pencils have a mixture of oil and wax binders. And then you get your pencils that have a really high end of wax, like the Prismacolors. And then you have your pencils that have a really high end of the oil binder, which are the like the polychromos. And so there's a lot of these budget pencils that I purchase, which are really very much in the middle. Now, I don't actually feel like these pencils have a higher oil binder in them. This particular set, after using them, if I was to make the label, I would say that these are more wax based. And the reason for that is they actually blend pretty well, and I find the oil ones, the oil-based pencils layer pretty well, but you usually don't get that pigment that kind of merges together with other pigments when you color over them, especially if you're using pressure. And I did find that these pigments merge, so you get a nice, very nice soft, a soft kind of a blend instead of having just kind of that having to do all the work with light layer after light layer after light layer. You can use a couple layers and you can get that nice soft blend with these pencils. I also found that if you layered them a lot, and as I've said before, I'm a burnisher. If I burnish with these pencils, I do get flakes of like waxy flakes come off, and that is much more indicative of this being a higher wax-based binder. When you overlayer oil pencils, you oftentimes get like a dust, and that when you brush that, it can make the paper kind of dirty, pigment color dirty. But I find with the wax pencils, when you overlayer them, or you layer them with a lot of layers, the pigment kind of it kind of clumps together, and you just get these like waxy flakes, which is what I found with these pencils. So if you're looking for an oil-based pencil set, I'm not entirely sure, even though these are labeled as oil-based pencils, that is what you would be receiving with these. But as a budget range pencil, I found that these actually blend nicer than some of the other budget pencils I have bought. To be honest, when coloring with these, I actually ended up enjoying these better than Black Widows. And I know that everyone has different kind of pencils that are their favorites, but I've always had a lot of trouble getting Black Widows to blend for me. And because I do a lot of layers, I have troubles getting the Black Widows to layer high. Now, I actually own all of the Black Widow sets, so I'm talking about the light skin, the dark skin, the Monarchs, the Cobra, the Black Widow, the Scorpion. So, I have all those sets, and they do have nice colors, but I just have a lot of issues getting them to blend nicely and getting them to layer. Where this one, I got a lot of layers, and I could add layers on after I'd already burnished, and it would add new color on. So I was actually really impressed with how these pencils performed. I would say that these pencils actually far exceeded my expectations for a budget set of pencils. And then something to note about these pencils. The pencil is stamped, and it will say high quality, and then it will also say colored pencil on one side. And then it has the Obos, I don't know if this is Chinese, I assume it's Chinese, logo on all the pencils. So there are no color names on these pencils, but they do have a number. And what I find nice, because I don't find this with a lot of other ones, is they actually have the number printed on 3 sides of the pencil. So no matter which way the pencil is laying in the box, you're going to see that number. But again, there aren't any color names to these pencils, but they are all numbered. So when you make your swatch list, just make sure you write down the number, and then you can easily find which pigment, which shade you are looking for. So let me just show you one of the pictures, and this is in the Molly Harrison Big Book of Fairies book. So I colored this picture, and it was the first thing that I had done was this skirt here, and I used I think at least 2 greens and 2 blues, and like I said, the colors actually blended really nicely. There aren't harsh pencil lines. You get a nice even blend between the different colors. So I was really impressed with that. And as you can see, I did do quite another number of layers in the hair, in the dress, even in the wings. And like I said, I was able to easily blend the colors here, and I was able to get layers on top of layers on top of layers, which not everyone does, but I do, and I get frustrated when a pencil will only do like 2 layers, and then you start to not be able to get any new definition, new shading, or anything like that. So I was really impressed with these pencils. So this was one picture I did, and then I also did a picture in this Mantra Craft book with them, because I wanted to really test out the capabilities. And so I did this one as well, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is it's just really smooth transition for a colored pencil with these colors here. Which, like I said, if I was doing this with a more oil-based pencil, I could do the layers, but it just you wouldn't get that nice kind of, I don't know if it's foggy or what you want to say, but it's where it presses the colors together and creates a nicer in-between tone for the pencil. So I was able to do both these pictures very easily, very quickly with these pencils. So I mean, all in all, I actually really enjoyed these pencils. Now I was quite miffed that the box I received was dented, but in a way, it gave me a chance to know that these have a really good, strong, hard core. So these are budget pencils. They're not going to be the quality of your Polychromos or your Prismacolors, or even, they're not even the quality of, say, the Artezas, which I find pretty decent quality for being slightly lower than some of the other ones. And I haven't tried all of the top brand pencils, but I have tried actually quite a few budget brands, and I thought that these actually performed really, really well. These are right there amongst the good end of the budget pencil. And I also don't think that these are oil-based, even though these are billed as being oil-based. Again, they probably have an oil binder in them. Most colored pencils have an oil binder, but being oil-based means the oil binder is higher than the wax binder, and I think the wax binder is higher. One of the other things I use to determine whether wax or oil is the gloss on them. I find that oil-based pencils have a really high sheen. If you do full color, because, and like I said, I do full layers, so I don't leave paper. I burnish, I leave it. So when I'm done with a picture that's oil-based, it's got a really high sheen to it. Now I find that the wax ones also have a gloss to them, but I find the wax ones to be a duller gloss, a more like the oil-based ones, you can get really, really shiny, almost lines when you look at them. And I find that the wax-based ones get like a high shine, not a fine shine. So the way that the final paper looks, to me, looks like a wax-based pencil. The fact that they blend really well, to me, says that they're more of a wax-based pencil. So they might just be more middle line, but if you are specifically looking for an oil base and you look up oil-based pencil on Amazon, and I can't remember how I found these, it may have been something like that, I would say that these pencils are not actually oil-based. So if that's something that you're concerned about, you don't like to deal with wax pencils, or you are really looking for an oil-based pencil, these might not be the ones to go. But if you're just looking for a budget brand of pencil that has a lot of colors, has a pretty good price. Like I said, I don't know what these, I think the price was lowered when I got these, so I don't know what these would generally sell for, but I got them for somewhere roughly around 23-24 cents a pencil for the price I paid for the set. And because these sets are so huge anyway, I don't like the crushed box, and I do like to keep my things nice, but because this set is so large, and I don't like having to pull these trays out and then because I just don't have the desk space to lay out 200 pencils. So I will be transferring these pencils into one of the pencil cases where you can just kind of flip the pages and it's all compacted. So the crush box, while that is a huge disappointment, it's not actually something that's going to affect my my enjoyment of these pencils in the long run, because like I said, I'm probably not going to keep this box anyway. Now, most pencils come in a tin, and this is a box. As far as that goes, I've never been a huge fan of the tins. The tins, I feel like, even with this, pencils rattle around quite a lot in these trays. If you drop the box, you know, they kind of jump out of their pockets. They're all over. So I prefer to keep my pencils in the books anyway. And as far as a cardboard box goes, I think that's a better recycling material. Yes, you can recycle the tins, but I actually prefer the pencils coming in a cardboard box, because I'm not going to be using the tin later on, or I'm not going to be using this box later on. So my final verdict on these pencils is that I actually really enjoyed them as a budget pencil. I would recommend this to people that are looking for something cheaper than the big ones. They want to you know, use a lot of different colors, maybe use a slightly better pencil than just some of the standard student grade, you know, generic grade pencils that are out there. And I actually think that these perform really nicely. So if you're learning pencil techniques and stuff, I got good layers even after I had burnished and had that high glossy layer. I was still able to add new color on top of that to kind of refine my shading and stuff, which is something that I enjoy in a pencil. So yeah, so like I said, I actually would go to these pencils over like the Black Widows. I found that these were more enjoyable for my coloring style. So if the points that I made on these pencils sounds like something you like in a pencil, you probably would enjoy this pencil set. Anyway, that is what I have for you today. So hopefully this review was helpful if you had already been considering these pencils, or if you had been considering getting a budget set of pencils and you didn't know which ones to choose. Maybe the points that I made about these pencils would be something that you would enjoy using in a pencil yourself. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.